Lauren, so we've been talking about audience-based buying for some time, and I wanted to know, sort of, broadly speaking, where that stands and how we're moving that way towards industry, and some work that you guys are doing at your agency.
Yeah, definitely. I think, within this concept of audience-based buying, there's really two different focus points that we're pursuing currently. One of them is on the national network side, which is really wrapped up in data-driven linear, where, as opposed to addressable buying, we're working with networks and in collaboration with Acxiom and the custom audiences that we build for advertisers. And through partnerships with, companies like Clipped and OpenAP, we're able to create plans that are optimized against custom audiences that we build for our advertisers. And that is, one approach that, it works for media that we're buying from national networks. However, on the addressable side, when we're working with MVPDs or, partners like Sling or Dish that own subscriber data and are able to enable addressable buying across their footprints, we're also pursuing many direct integrations with these partners to be able to syndicate our custom audiences and match those to their household footprints to be able to enable addressable buying directly with those partners through our platform integrations.
So, not to get too wonky into ad ops, but how interoperable is all this, and where are the friction points?
Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done. Obviously, I think on the data driven linear side, it's still, it's very much a Nielsen powered game. We have a long-standing relationship with Nielsen, and there's, I would say, clearer paths to be able to get our audiences to a destination that can then be matched against national networks' historical viewership data, which is powered by Nielsen. On the household addressable side, it's interesting because really to enable the types of transactions that we want to pursue, it requires direct integrations between every MVPD across the US market and our internal audience graphs, which currently that's kind of the piece that Acxiom powers. And so I would say it's historically been difficult to get MVPDs to agree to share subscriber files with you, to be able to do those matches so that we can enable that type of audience buying. And I think we're very lucky with the Acxiom acquisition and the status they've had in market for a very long time as being a safe haven. Their privacy practices are first in class. And so that gives us an advantage in terms of how we're able to pursue relationships with MVPDs to not only, syndicate audiences on a one-to-one basis, but, also pursue other use cases that power different types of needs within the campaign activation life cycle, such as, ingesting exposure files to be able to do deterministic, measurement, closed loop measurement studies for marketers, and as an example.
And Lauren, we've been talking about addressable for years, it seems, and there's a lot happening. In your opinion, what does true addressability mean? It's changed, and what are sort of the what is your outlook for 2021? What will addressability look like, do you think?
Yeah, I think the way that I describe addressable, and coming from more the digital side of the space, we call it dynamic ad insertion, right? So it doesn't mean you're always targeting an audience one by one, but it means that you're making a decision about what you're going to deliver to that household based on unique information that you have about that household. So it might be that that household is in your target segment, or it might be that that household saw your ad through a different campaign tactic, and so you want to serve them a different creative message. So it's about being able to dynamically adjust your messaging based on information that you have about that household. When I think about how addressability will evolve and expand in the future, I'm really excited, about the conversations we've been having recently with MVPDs and, the being, I would say, like, the more advanced use cases of extending the addressability that these MVPDs are able to enable across the media that they own sales rights to, and being, working with them to kind of build the groundwork to enable this type of audience-based addressable buying. But the conversations we're having are very encouraging in terms of using that groundwork to extend into other types of activations in the future. So down the road, thinking, national addressable buys built on top of these footprints that we're putting in place with MVPDs right now.
And Lauren, finally, you're on the buy side now, and you interact with many clients, I'm sure. What are some of the how do you see the attitude of clients? I know they're all different, of course, but what they want to get out of addressable, if they do, and of course it's an effort and it's an expense, but there are a lot of results to be had. How do you see client expectation changing around addressable?
Yeah, I think, generally speaking, clients are willing to push dollars in a significant way to new tactics when we're able to prove out that tactic is driving performance. And so I think that, the advancement that Nielsen's made recently with being able to measure addressable advertising, I think, that enables us to create benchmarks that will really prove out these use cases in the future. You always have advertisers who are very, data driven, data first, and will, push dollars towards those tactics without the full kind of closed loop measurement view. But you have other advertisers who historically have bought very, very heavy in the upfronts and get, their kind of cheap reach that way. And it's more difficult to rationalize pushing dollars towards these audience-based tactics because of the additional tech tax, unless we're able to definitively prove out that value. And so I think that, that's a major focus of ours for this year and next year, is really enabling those measurement insights so that we can prove out to our marketers what is working. And we believe that, similar to the digital world, where that story has been proven time and time again, that we'll be able to do the same in linear and addressable tactics as well.